Welcome back, everyone. Boom! You always come back for fun. A lot of things are going right for you. You've been watching the videos. Clearly, you're winning. So many sales to be made, right? The firm's growing. It's going good. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check us out at universalaccountingcenter.com. What a wonderful place to get certified. I'm going to teach you a formula that is irresistible today. So many results from this formula. Most bookkeepers right now, you probably feel invisible, right? You're competing on price. You sound the same when presenting. You market as everyone else, right? You explain bookkeeping the same. Because of that, business owners, right, you see all of you as replaceable. So we got to get that flipped around, got to get that changed. And that is why one bookkeeper struggles to get how much, right? A $200 a month client, while another builds a 6 or 7 figure charging premium monthly retainers. Well, the difference is not intelligence. The difference is positioning, psychology, communication, certainty, and understanding that human behavior at a very high level. So today, I'm going to teach you the real formula behind getting $500 a month bookkeeping clients consistently, $800 a month clients. It's all the same, and it's not some theory garbage. I wouldn't say not post 3 times a day. Well, you should post 12 times a day. That's actual action right there. But the other thing is, and not thinking about it, and theory is the best way to put it. This is actual stuff that you can get in there and apply immediately. So real strategy, real psychology, and real business development. Look, if you can understand what I'm about to teach, you can stop acting like a freelancer and actually start operating like a real financial advisor. So let's get into it. Let's go. Grab the pencil and paper. Module 1, the biggest lie in bookkeeping. Here's the biggest lie in bookkeeping. If I get really good at bookkeeping, the clients will automatically come. And that's wrong. Look, this is one of the most dangerous beliefs that you can have in business, that technical skill alone rarely creates wealth. There are incredible accountants broke right now, and there are average accountants making fortunes. Why? Because owners do not buy bookkeeping based purely on technical ability. They buy on perceived value. That's business psychology 101. The market does not reward the smartest person. The market rewards the person who communicates value most effectively. That's why you have amazing accountants who struggle, weak accountants with huge firms, smart people undercharging, mediocre people dominating markets. Because business owners are not evaluating you like a CPA exam. They are evaluating trust, confidence, simplicity, certainty, communication, emotional safety. That's what they're really buying. All right, let's move to Module 2. What business owners are actually feeling. Look, let's go deeper into this, okay? Most business owners are under pressure constantly, right? And you understand this. You're a business owner yourself. But look, if you've never owned a business, you may not fully understand this, okay? Business owners, they wake up constantly stressed, even the successful ones, because owning business creates constant uncertainty, right? Questions like, can I make payroll? Why is revenue down? Where's all my money going? Am I overpaying in taxes? Can I hire another employee, right? Can I afford expansion? Why am I making more money but still feel broke? That uncertainty creates emotional fatigue. Most owners are operating emotionally, not financially, meaning they feel busy, they feel successful, they feel growth, but they do not actually know their numbers. That creates hidden anxiety, right? So you have to understand this. Your bookkeeping service is not about transactions. Your bookkeeping service is about reducing uncertainty. That's a completely different level of thinking. You're not organizing numbers, you're organizing clarity. And that clarity has enormous value because confusion is expensive in business. Let's move to Module 3. Why most bookkeepers sound unsure, okay? Why most bookkeepers sound unsure. Let's talk about communication here for a second. Most bookkeepers accidentally destroy their value within the first couple minutes of the call. Here's what you end up saying on those calls is, I offer bookkeeping services, I reconcile accounts, I categorize transaction, I clean up books. Well, that language kills authority instantly. And here's why. Because you sound task force instead of outcome focused, okay? Let me say that again. You sound task focused instead of outcome focused, and the elite pros sell the outcomes, and the people who just are, I would say, they're average at selling their own services, they sell tasks, okay? Well, those are huge differences. Nobody cares about reconciliations emotionally, right? Business owners care about the profit, the control, the growth, the time, the peace of mind, decision making, and the stability. Okay, so instead of saying something like, well, I do bookkeeping and I've been in business 10 years, why don't you say, I help business owners understand their numbers, improve cash flow visibility, and make better financial decisions. Do you hear the difference? One sounds administrative and one sounds strategic. One sounds cheap. Nobody likes cheap. I hate cheap, right? Cheap's never done me any good. But you know what has done me good? Value. And one sounds valuable. One sounds replaceable. One sounds important. I'd rather sound important than replaceable, right? And this is advanced positioning psychology. And that's what you have to use, right? It's communication. Let's move to Module 4. The identity shift that changes everything. So this next part is super critical and crucial. Most accountants identify themselves as accountants, as bookkeepers, tax preparers, numbers people. But with that identity, what ends up happening is you limit your income, okay? Or the firms that the elite firms identify themselves differently. They see themselves as financial operators, advisors, profit consultants, strategic partners, decision support systems. That identify changes, okay? Here's what that identity changes. That identity changes communication, confidence, pricing, marketing, client relationships, authority. You cannot charge premium prices while thinking like a low-level service provider, right? Your identity affects your language, and your language affects your perception, and your perception affects your revenue. Everything connects, right? Let's move to Module 5. Here's why $500 to $800 a month is actually cheap for bookkeeping. Look, this is where most accountants massively undervalue themselves. Let's think logically here. If your bookkeeping saves a business owner 10 hours a month, prevents financial mistakes, helps identify overspending, improves tax organization, creates better reporting, helps improve profitability, and ultimately reduce stress, then what is it really worth, right? What is that really worth? Certainly more than $500, okay? Business owners spend $500 on ads that fail, $800 on software they barely use, thousands on employees, tens of thousands on equipment, but many accountants are scared to charge for something that directly affects financial health. Why is that, right? Because they emotionally undervalue themselves. That's not a skill problem, that's a mindset and positioning problem. All right, let's move to Module 6. How to find these clients consistently. All right, so let's get tactical here for a second. The easiest clients to get are usually businesses already experiencing financial chaos. So what are some industries experiencing financial chaos? You're probably in some of them, actually. It'd be contractors, roofers, HVAC, restaurants, the med spas, the gyms, the landscaping companies. Comment below who you're working with, right? Let's have some fun. Well, why would it be those? Because many are operationally strong but financially disorganized, meaning revenue exists but systems do not, right? And where there is confusion, there is opportunity. So that's what you have to look for. What industries have the most confusion? And that's where my money's at. Let's move to Module 7. All right? Here is the outreach framework that you need to be using. Now, I teach many, but they're all the same. They all follow the same system, so it's all basically the same. So let me teach you something most people will never understand unless they're watching my videos or run sales teams and read sales books. You guys spend a lot of time doing this stuff. But anyways, I'm just having fun. Your outreach should never sound needy. Write that down, okay? The second you sound desperate, your authority collapses. So most people message like this: hey, I'm a bookkeeper looking for clients. Well, that's freaking nuts, okay? I don't know how else to say it. You instantly position yourself beneath the business owner. Where in sales, you want to always be in control. Here's a good example for you. Try this. Hey, John, I work with growing businesses, helping owners improve financial visibility and cash flow organization. Quick question. Are your current numbers giving you a clear picture of profitability month to month? Notice what happened there psychologically. Calm, strategic, professional, selective, valuable. Well, that's the type of communication you want. Compared to, hey, I'm a new bookkeeper looking for clients. Which I'm sure you've sent before, right? All right, let's go to Module 8. The science of trust. Trust is everything in accounting. Just think about it. Because accounting is deeply emotional. Business owners are exposing their income, their debt, their mistakes, their financial fears, their weaknesses, bad decisions. That requires trust, and trust is built through certainty, calmness, competence, simplicity, listening, emotional control, right? That is why tonality matters. So if you sound nervous, they're going to get nervous as well. If you sound uncertain, they hesitate as well. You have to understand that confidence transfers emotionally, and that people feel certainty before they logically process it, and that is called neuroscience. So, Module 9, how to keep clients long term. Getting clients is one skill, keeping them is another. Most firms lose clients because they become transactional, meaning there's no communication, no proactive advice, right? No relationship building, no strategic conversations. Elite firms communicate consistently. Even simple things like monthly check-ins, profit observations, expense concerns, cash flow trends, tax reminders. That makes clients feel supported. And when clients feel supported, retention increases massively. People stay where they feel understood. Let's move to Module 10. Look, the future of accounting, okay? The future of accounting. This is where the industry is going to go. The AI will automate a lot of data entry, but the reality is this, right? AI cannot fully replace human trust, human connection, the human strategy, human emotional intelligence. So what actually is going to happen is that the future will belong to accountants who essentially advisors. And check us out at Universal Accounting Center. Insanely good profiting growth certification. It's so good. So all the data entry stuff, sure, maybe that will go away, but you will always need the advisor. So the market is shifting towards interpretation, strategy, guidance, communication, decision-making support. That's where the money's at. So here's the last thing that I'll leave you with. The real formula for $500 to $800 a month bookkeeping clients is not to learn QuickBooks and tell everyone how good you are at using it is, but what you need to do is learn business psychology, okay? Learn communication, learn positioning, learn trust building, learn confidence, learn business systems, learn how to solve emotional problems through financial clarity. That is the real end game, because elite accounting firms do not sell bookkeeping. They actually sell peace, control, visibility, confidence, growth, and business owners will always pay for certainty. So if you got value, always like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.